Welcome to Wizards of the Tower.
Roleplay.
In this episode, the all-evil campaign. Welcome to Wizards of the Tower.
Roleplay.
Now, in this episode, Delaney and I are going to be talking about the all-evil campaign.
Or adventures.
Or adventure. And why would you do it? Who would get involved? Etc. So, what got us talking about this is there's a lot of game rules in game books. I'm specifically thinking about First Pathfinder 3.5, where the rules are sort of split 50-50 between good and evil.
I'd actually throw it back further, because first edition it was all there, second edition it was there, third edition it was there, 3.5 it was there.
Well,
it's been there for all the adventures, really.
Okay, that's fine. And I understand that. It's just I don't have a lot of experience with game rules before 3. So, but I noticed every time, you're paging through a book, third edition, and you have all this stuff for necromancy, and you have all this stuff for anti-clerics and anti-paladins, and evil characters, and you're like, gosh, what? Why is all this in here? So that always kind of brings up the question: why would you make an evil campaign? Who would play in it? How would the DM run it? And how long would it last? Essentially, something like that. Okay.
Yeah. Why would you do it? Well, it's kind of a break from always being good.
Sure. I mean,
it's a total change.
Yeah.
It's every one of us, I would hope every one of us, tries to do good and tries to do moral things. And even in our regular games, even if you're playing chaotic, you tend to do some things that are kind of good. You're not always bad. Even Robin Hood, who was seen as a bad person, was trying to do good.
Well, I mean,
even Darth Vader ended up doing a little good at the end of his life.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the story. We were at Ren Fair, and we were talking to some people, and there was a guy there dressed as kind of like the Witch King, kind of like a Dark Knight. He didn't have the Witch King crown, but he had a lot of the black armor. And he was a big guy, imposing, looked really sort of frightening. People are taking pictures of the person. And one of the people I was talking to commented to me, "Oh, look at that. Look at that guy. He's got to have a dark side. Somebody like that who dresses like that has got to have a dark side." Well, why? Maybe that's just, someone who enjoys dressing in, like, supposedly kind of evil characters. Why do people dress up as vampires, monsters, zombies, Jasons, werewolves? The whole thing is, do we kind of look to indulge that kind of little bit of darkness that just about everybody has? Most people are balanced out pretty good with mostly good with a little bit of bad because, we have tempers, we have shortcomings in our personalities, whatever. Some
of us have filched pencils and pens from work.
Yeah, things
which can be considered as an evil act.
Well, I mean, it's technically stealing. You know what I mean? So the thing is running an evil game or an evil campaign, is that kind of a way for everybody to indulge like that little bit of darkness inside them? Yeah, it is. And is it a harmless way to do it? Sure, it can be really harmless. And so the thing is how do you go about making an evil character?
It's an escapism.
Yeah. It's an escape from always having to play someone good. You can play someone, evil.
Now, neither one of us have ever played in an all-evil campaign.
No.
I have played one evil character in my life. And it was interesting because it was a first edition game. And I was invited to play in this group in eastern Colorado. It was like an hour and a half drive from where we lived. And we went out there, and the DM actually asked me to join this campaign, and he wanted me to do it as a character that was to assassinate every one of the players and do it without them ever finding out who was doing it. So I had to role play it as such and do it in a way that the players didn't know that it was me that was assassinating them. And it was really different. It was really different. And what's funny is that same DM in one of my adventures played an evil sorcerer or an evil wizard, and how he manipulated the party of good to do things for him. But as far as playing an all evil adventure where everybody was evil, whether they were neutral, lawful, or chaotic, it was just one character.
Yeah, yeah.
And I typically don't allow, in my games, if you're a party of good, I wouldn't allow somebody who's evil, because honestly, somebody's going to find out eventually and they're not going to want to associate with you. Yeah. Nobody wants to associate with the psychopath.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is
what are you going to do?
The thing is, in a heroic campaign, people are, doing things, heroically, so to speak. To have someone who's evil, who commits unheroic evil acts, basically flies in the face of any sort of other group that's happening, any sort of other situation. You're, as a heroic campaign, you're taking on evil characters, you're defeating them. Well, if you have an evil character in your group, what do you do with that person? You basically got to defeat him. So you're kind of like a short-lived evil character, in a group of good characters. Right.
Now, as far as evil characters go, if you have a lawful evil character, they follow laws. They may be evil, but they still follow a path of law.
Yeah, everybody always points to Darth Vader as being like a lawful, because Darth Vader had a code that Darth Vader followed, did things. I think of like the Sheriff of Nottingham, who was evil, but definitely had to exist within the king's rules, more or less, so that the Sheriff of Nottingham didn't get in trouble pursuing Robin Hood, but yet could still had a great deal of latitude to carry out those rules, whether the sheriff wanted to carry them out in a good manner or a bad manner.
Your neutral evil character is going to be somebody who's, once in a while they're going to follow the path of law. Sometimes they're just going to be off the whim. They're kind of unpredictable in that respect.
Yeah, neutral evil, someone who basically doesn't follow rules, but yet still exists within a sane structure. So someone who just basically makes their own rules, like an evil general or a warlord, but yet still exists within a structure of, not civilization obviously, but some kind of a setup to where they can actually function. Generals of the past, warlords, Genghis Khan, that sort of thing. Those kind of people who, they were evil, obviously, but they still had to maintain some kind of a structure.
Vlad Tepes.
Yeah, Vlad Tepes. They still had to maintain, a world around them, so they actually could exist in that world. Yeah. Chaotic evil, just people who want to burn the whole place down, man, and they don't care what way, how, or what it happens.
Yeah.
We're talking Pol Pot.
As long as it helps them out, they don't care.
Yeah, we're talking Hitler at the final years in the Getademerone. Burn it down to the ground, man. They don't deserve me. I'm burning it down.
Right.
You're talking someone who is evil.
Right. So within your evil campaign, you probably would have a mix of neutral, lawful, and chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
And how are they going to interact with each other? Because that chaotic evil person is going to be out for number one, and they're gonna do whatever number one needs.
So I remember a movie. This is off just a little bit, but it's interesting because it's called The Last of the Hard Men, and it's an outlaw movie. And there's a group of outlaws break out of prison, and they're trying to get some dug up gold somewhere in Arizona. And it's interesting because the dynamics of the outlaw band, they're all bad, but they're all different levels of bad. And how do they function? There's murderers, rapists, there's an arsonist, there's some kind of a thief, a couple of thieves, that sort of thing. How they function over time to get to where they're going, and finally, and they never do end up digging up the gold. They get killed by a lawman. But how they end up, maintaining the cohesiveness of this outlaw gang for a period of time is really kind of an interesting character study. And so I kind of put that down to like an evil campaign or an evil group. How do you maintain cohesion when everybody's out for themselves?
Well, let's talk about that. So let's say you have a party of neutral evil, lawful evil, and chaotic evil.
Yeah.
And their goal is, there is a big pile of treasure, and it's 10 million gold pieces, and there's 6 of us. Okay, well, that's a 6-way split. Okay, how are they going to interact with each other? Well, the lawful player is going to wait until they get the gold. And then once they get the gold, then they're probably going to maybe whittle some of them people down so they get a bigger cut.
I could see a lawful evil character taking the gold, but letting the others live.
Yeah.
Like marooning them on an asteroid or on an island or something. Just be lucky I'm leaving you with your lives, and then they take off and leave you there. Maybe throw them a handful of coins. Here's for your trouble, and then take off.
Yeah. Or the neutral evil person may team up with one or two people in the group and say, hey, we take out the rest of these people, and now it's down to just us.
Yeah, they're setting one side against the other to take out, you got 8 guys, half of them split, they take out each other, and then at the very end you've only got 2, and the lawful evil character is like, okay, there's enough for me. I can't carry it all, so I'm going to let you live long enough to help me carry this back to the boat, and then I'm going to kill you, and then I'm going to take off.
But the neutral person is going to be, they're going to work as a team to try and get as much for themselves in a greater split.
Yeah.
Whereas your chaotic evil person is just going to try and take out everybody at the end of it.
Yeah.
They want it all.
They want it all. They're just going to kill everybody at the end. They're going to blow the whole place up, grab the bags of gold, run out, light the torch, light the fuse, run off in the desert. The mountain explodes, kills everybody. That's chaotic.
Yeah.
So you can see like how could a campaign like that actually function over a period of time? I don't see it being a multi-year campaign.
Everybody is actually going to be out to stab somebody in the back. In one way, shape, or form.
Yes. So we'll get back to that in just a minute, because we want to talk about interpersonal relationships in a little bit. But first, let's talk about creating that evil setting that they might be in, like an evil realm or a setting.
Right. Yeah. So maybe they're working for the king. The king says, "Well, I've got my daughter has been taken captive by this dragon, and the dragon's got a hoard of treasure, and I'll let you have a split of it, and one of you can marry my daughter." Whoever's the most fitting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, when I think of like an evil realm, I think of in Galarian, which is the Pathfinder world. There's a Cheliax, I think, or something.
Cheliax.
Yeah, they're like they practice Chelax. Yeah, they practice slavery. They practice oppression. Yeah. You've got an evil realm, and you've got other evil realms too, like the Orc realm.
Well, and in the Forgotten Realms, you've got Thay and Zental.
Okay, so
Red Wizards of Thay.
Yeah, so those are bad people, So you create an evil realm for evil people to come from, whether they represent that realm or whether they're fleeing that realm for one reason or another. That's an interesting way to create a setting. A setting of chaos, a setting of lawful evil, of neutral evil, whatever you want to do.
Maybe they're working for the big bad evil guy.
Yeah, some kind of warlord. Some kind of an evil king, some kind of an evil wizard, some town council that's greedy and oppresses all the citizens, something like that. It can be really interesting when you think about trying to create an evil realm.
Yeah.
I mean, the best evil realm that comes to my mind, of course, is Nazi Germany. There's others, Pol Pot's Cambodia, Pinochet's, in Chile, that kind of place. Those are evil realms, definitely. Iran,
and of course, in Star Wars, you've got the Empire. Which some people may consider the Empire as being good, but that's all. Or in Lord of the Rings, you have Mordor.
Yeah, there's a good one, Mordor. That's like your best example, of Mordor. Be like, in basically an evil realm where all the bad people come together. So, which brings up the question: if you do have an evil realm, is everybody in the evil realm evil, or are they just stuck there and they can't get out? Like. We talk about that a lot, about orcs, whether orcs should be evil or whether they have their own lives too, and they're just basically stuck existing in the world they are. They're always demonized, they're always hated, and because of that, essentially they're stuck there.
I think the second season, Rings of Power, kind of hit upon that.
Yeah.
With the orcs.
Yeah. You know, it's like they have families too. They have people they care about. They want a homeland just to be by themselves. You know, are all dragons evil? Are all trolls evil? Maybe they just want to be left alone. Maybe humans will never let them alone. Maybe it's humans that are evil, and the other races are just trying to get by. So, you know, it does raise the intriguing possibility that there's a great deal of setting creation here, you know, within your story that you can explore. How evil do you really want to get? Do you just want to have everybody killing each other when they sleep? Or do you want it to continue where they do sort of evil things, but not always do evil things? Like good bad people or bad good people?
Yeah.
It's a question.
Then you have to talk about what races and heritage you're going to allow.
Yeah.
Well, of course, humans fly all over the board when it comes to alignment.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah. But then again, you could say dwarves and elves and halflings and gnomes are also the same way. But then you got goblins and you've got orcs and you've got troglodytes and kobolds.
Yeah,
and
kobolds, yeah. Is any of them
bugbears.
Inherently evil? Well,
hobgoblins. I remember a campaign that we almost joined that everyone had to play a monster race. Right? And there was, I think everyone had to be a hobgoblin, but there was one person that didn't have to be a hobgoblin.
Huh.
That was the Dave.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, it was they were doing like an all-alternative campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting way to look at it, you know, how you see the world. Are your characters really evil, or are they just stuck in an evil world?
Yeah. Now, Pathfinder definitely allows you to play all these different races that are in the monster book.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's a lizard man, or whether it's a minotaur, or, you know, a rat folk. Mm-hmm. You know, you're playing Warhammer, playing a rat folk.
Rat folk, yeah. Skaven. Sure. To me, it's an intriguing possibility, but you know what the thing is? Everybody's got to be on the same game table about it. Everybody's got to be on the same board. Okay? That, you know, you can't have 5 evil characters and 1 good character. Someone who just is like, no, I just don't want to hurt these peasants, you know. You know, it's like, we're going to rob these peasants, and we're not going to leave them alive because dead men tell no tales, you know.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Well, no, maybe we should. And it's like, look, you're not evil enough for this campaign. Everybody's got to be on the same page here. But if they're going to do an evil campaign, you got to be evil.
It's almost like where Tom just said, dead men tell no tales. You're thinking pirates here.
Yeah. Pirates,
some people thought them as good, some people thought them as evil.
Yeah. In our Pirate Borg campaign, we got to be evil. I will say this. I guess I have been in an evil campaign, and that's our Pirate Borg campaign, where we would just blast innocent people with cannon shot and steal what they had. So yeah, we have been in evil campaigns, just not evil Pathfinder or D&D campaigns. And I loved it. I loved being a pirate. I loved just, you know, holing up next to a galley, letting loose with the grape shot, coming in there and hacking everybody up.
Taking what they got.
Taking what they
got.
got.
The ship or sinking the ship and everybody else that's alive.
Yeah, it's like, what do we do with them? We got these 4 people who are alive. Tie them to the mast and blow holes in the hull and let them sink. You know,
set the ship on fire.
Yeah, set the ship on fire. We're pirates. We don't care. So you indulge yourself in that sense. Yeah. You know, I mean, I just thought of that I guess we actually have been an evil campaign, Pirate Borg.
But you guys weren't evil.
Well, we weren't like evil because we were battling evil too. We were
also,
evil, but we were battling battle undead. So it's kind of like
deep ones
and dark ones, and so we were evil who were battling other deep ones, yeah, which are like lizard. Amphibious people.
No, it's Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. They were like lizard people.
No, they were Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. So the question there is like, how long will your evil campaign last? If everybody's just going around stabbing each other in the back, trying to get the gold or whatever, how long is that? Is like a multi-year campaign?
But you never killed each other off on purpose.
Well, that's because we cooperated as a group with an evil purpose.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. We had a pirate purpose. And so if you have a higher pirate purpose, which is to get everybody rich, even though you're evil, you'll cooperate. It was also an us against them mentality, which is very important if you think about an evil campaign. It's an us against them. It's us evil folks against them good folks.
And other evil folks.
Now, or other evil folks.
Right.
So it's the team spirit, the team mentality. However, we got to bring this up, and that's interpersonal conflicts within the group.
Well, also too, how long would a campaign like this last? Would you make it last over just a couple of adventures? Would you have it last years as a campaign?
Well, a pirate campaign can last forever until you're killed.
Until you died and come back as a new character.
Yeah, So, but, well, if let's say you were doing a D&D campaign and you guys, and everybody was a bunch of forest thieves and they were robbing people, how long could that possibly last? Well, it could last as long.
Eventually, somebody's going to come for you.
Yeah. Things can happen one way or the other. Eventually, you're going to draw the notice of somebody.
Yeah, and somebody's going to, if you keep taking out their people that are coming to get you, they're going to eventually send the most powerful that they can, saying, hey, enough is enough, let's get rid of these people.
So, and that's kind of what happened to piracy, of course, is it sort of, erupted, collapsed from within through corruption and various things. Everybody wanted to go straight. And then the countries got wise to what was going on and started sending the men of war after these pirate ships, and then it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah. But then, so as Tom was mentioning, interpersonal conflicts and character player conflicts.
Yeah.
Somebody may get mad that you stabbed them in the back and killed off their player that they just raised the level on, or just got the nifty magic item that you killed them to take the nifty magic item off of them.
Sometimes gamers can be really sensitive about playing their characters, okay? They can be really sensitive about that. And so we've had people really get mad and erupt in our games because other players had played things the way they didn't want it to be played. And so people can get really sensitive.
Yeah.
So that's what I say. Everybody's got to be on the same page when it comes to an evil campaign, that you shouldn't have a good person in there, trying to prevent other evil people from being evil. And is that going to bleed out of the game into interpersonal conflicts? We've had people get up off the table and leave and walk out.
Yeah, because of interpersonal conflicts.
Because of interpersonal conflicts. We've had that several times.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, there you go. That's the end of that player. Maybe they'll cool off and come back next week. They usually don't. They usually don't come back. So, is that kind of thing worth it? It's a level of maturity to get out of yourself and into another character. Can people do it? Well, older folks like us who are used to playing different roles probably wouldn't have much of a problem with it. But I wonder more about younger generational people who don't exist in a world where they see things so much in moral absolutes.
I could do it, but I don't think I could do it long term because of my moral beliefs.
Yeah.
And I know your moral beliefs. Long term, playing it for a couple of sessions would probably be kind of fun, and it'd be a total break from anything that we'd ever done before. But long term, I think I would probably get tired of it to try and maintain being evil and doing evil acts and
yeah.
Because eventually, depending upon what alignment you are, you're going to take out some of the party members.
It's got to happen.
It's got to happen.
Because you become greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one likes to share. You're evil. Why would you share? You're going to take it all for yourself.
Yeah. You look at these heist movies like Army of Dead.
Yeah. Everybody falls out at the end because they're greedy and evil.
Or even Predator.
Yeah.
You had this force going down into South America, as a merc group, and they end up kind of turning on each other in many ways.
In a lot of ways, yeah. I mean, it can happen like that because essentially they're in an evil situation and things go awry.
Yep. So anyway, I think we're going to end this episode of Wizards of the Tower.
Role play.
And we hope you like this episode. If you've played in an all-evil one or ran an all-evil one, let us know your experience with it.
Yeah, let us know.
What happened with it. We kind of like to know, maybe I'll run one in the future.
Yeah.
Just for fun. Mm-hmm. But make sure you leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. That gives you a notification. We try to upload a new episode every Friday. It kind of depends upon our work schedule and
Yeah.
work-life schedule. But a lot of times you'll see us wearing the same shirts because, we do a lot of recording all at one time.
Yep.
Because that's what our schedule is kind of like. So anyway, may all your adventures be epic and not too evil.
And keep on rolling, folks.
Thanks.